Welcome to Perl Snacks, where in each snack video we cover a bite-sized piece of Perl. This snack is brought to you by Optimal Computer Solutions, the company dedicated to the excellent technical professional. In this snack video, we're going to create your first Perl program, and in doing so, we're going to cover the shebang line, what that is and what it does. We're going to cover the print operator and the difference between single quotes and double quotes when you're creating strings in your Perl program. I'll be typing in code here on the left-hand side in the white window. I'll run the code on the right-hand side here in the blue window. And how do you create your first program? You start with the shebang line. I'm going to put the Perl code in a file called first.pl. Use your favorite editor. For example, if you're on Windows, you can use Notepad. The shebang line is not mandatory on Windows. It is on Linux and Unix computers. And the .pl extension is not mandatory on any computer. We use it only so that we, the user, can identify the file as containing Perl code. Okay, now that I've opened the file, I'm going to enter the shebang line. The shebang line starts with a pound sign and an exclamation point, followed by the full path name of the Perl executable you'll be using to run your Perl program. By default, that executable is often in the user bin directory. So user bin Perl is the full path name of the Perl executable I'm going to be using to run this Perl program. Your Perl executable may be located in a different place. If you downloaded your own copy of Perl, for example, your Perl executable might be somewhere under your home directory. Just as an example, I have another Perl executable on the system which is located under my home directory. I'm going to bring up a third window here to show you that. That Perl executable is under the local Perl directory. Under local Perl, there's a bin directory, and under bin, we have a Perl executable here. So if I wanted to, I could use that Perl executable, and if I did that, I would use users Darrell Pace /local Perl /bin as the directory under which my Perl executable was located. In fact, just for the sake of example, let's do that. The shebang line is a mandatory line on Linux and Unix-based computers. It must be the first line in your Perl program. If you try to put Perl statements before the shebang line, the program will fail. After you have entered the shebang line, you can then start creating your Perl statements. What's a good statement to run? Well, in this, our first Perl program, a good statement to run would be one that contains the print operator. And the print operator is given by putting the word print in your program, followed by what you want to print out. The print operator will print string or number values, and it will print a list of string or number values where each item in that list is separated from the other items by a comma. You create strings in Perl by placing them between either single or double quotes. For example, if I want to print hello world, I can put that between double quotes like that. And that will print out hello world. Let's see what that looks like when we run this program. I'm going to change the permissions so that this program is executable. It printed out hello world right there. But notice that there's not a new line that separates this output from my next input line here. New lines in Perl are given by a backslash and an N, which I've placed right here. Once I put that backslash and N in there, that causes the program to do that. Hello world and new line. Let's talk a little bit about single quotes and double quotes. Single quotes and double quotes are similar in that when they're used to create strings for print to print out, print will print out the string that's between them, but double quotes give backslash escape sequences like \n special meanings, whereas single quotes do not. If I put this string between single quotes, Then instead of printing out hello world in a new line, it prints out hello world \n. So that's a big difference between single quotes and double quotes. We'll cover additional differences in a future Perl snack. I'm going to change this back to double quotes so that once again we have a new line printed. And back to the program, I mentioned that print will print a list of values where each value is separated from the other by a comma. If I wanted to print out another value, let's say a number like 7, followed by another new line, that would print out the following. So you see, I have a string here enclosed in double quotes and followed by a comma. Then I have a second value that I'm passing to print, which is the number 7. Then I have another string, which is a new line following the 7. Now this Perl program contains a single print statement. Most of the time in your Perl programs, every statement must end with a semicolon. And most of the time, if that semicolon is not present, as it wasn't the first several times I ran this program, you'll get an error. The reason I say most of the time your Perl program requires a semicolon at the end of the statements is because the very last statement in your Perl program does not require a semicolon. So if I were to put a print statement after this first print statement, and both contain no semicolon, and I tried to run this program, I'd get an error. But if I put a semicolon here and run the program again, it runs without any issues. In summary, we covered the shebang line. The shebang line starts with a £sign and an exclamation point followed by the full path name of the Perl executable on your system that will be running your Perl program. That line can then be followed by Perl statements. Every statement must end with a semicolon except for the very last one. On that very last one, the semicolon is optional, although it's probably a good idea just to end every statement with a semicolon, just as a matter of habit. We covered the print operator, and the print operator takes a list of values where that list can contain strings and or numbers, where each value is separated from the other by a comma. We also took a brief look at single quotes and double quotes and the difference between those two. Single quotes and double quotes perform similar actions except that double quotes interpret \escape sequences, whereas single quotes do not. We'll talk more about \escape sequences in future Perl snack videos. We also cover the fact that every statement must end with a semicolon with the exception of the last Perl statement. That concludes today's Perl snack. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Leave your questions, comments, and requests in the comments section. There will be many more videos on Perl and other topics to come. I'll be posting a minimum of 1 per week. Subscribe to get notified of future videos. This is Daryl Pace from Optimal Computer Solutions, signing out.